Hello, this is Gene. I guess you figure out that I want to talk about what happened to the election. I have to say that I wasn't that surprised, but this is another time for people to gloat, those who supported Trump. It's like he said last night, the real work is ahead of us. But for those who might think that maybe I didn't call this, I'll show you what I had on my Twitter. I pinned it, and on 270, about a week before the election, I said what I thought it was going to be. Right now it looks like I only have two states wrong. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it. It looked like the only ones I got wrong is, unless New Hampshire goes to Clinton, then obviously I only missed one. But I had New Mexico going to Trump, and that didn't happen. She won that. So I have it was 310 to 228, and I think it's going to be like 309. So I want to talk about what happened and how last night, when all the TV stations were saying they were all shocked and the polls were all wrong, and how they spent all this money on their ex-polls and all that stuff, and they still got it wrong. It's strange to me that somebody who actually looked at the numbers and knew that there was going to be a lot of Democrats who were going to come back and vote for Republicans, that they could be so far off, and then somebody like me, who's a layman, almost got exactly right. Now, let's be clear that Trump, a lot of these states were close that he won. Wisconsin, Michigan, if he wins it, which he's going to, Pennsylvania, Florida, these were all very close places. So was North Carolina. So it could have happened that she could have won those states. Thankfully, she didn't do that. But what we saw last night, when it was clear that Trump was going to win, a lot of people started talking about they started doing the same things, that he was hurtful to women and all this other stuff, instead of looking at what his policies are. And then he came out and did his nice speech, and he said things that are, in my mind, are liberal ideas. Building roads, building new schools, taking care of health care, take care of the vets, something like that. Those are liberal ideas to me. So what I really want to talk about is, yes, we should not be gloating right now. I'm a Democrat. 18 months ago, I laughed at the idea that Trump would win, until I actually looked into his case, and I understood what he was trying to talk about. And most of what he talks about, I believed him. And I thought if I was, I didn't think I was unique. I thought there were more people like myself that, once they learned what he had to say and understanding what he was looking at, that he would get it. But what upsets me still today, this morning, they're still talking about it's white people that are not educated that made him the president. But that's not really what's happening. He's no different than what Obama had in his time. You take away the black vote and the Latino vote or Hispanic vote, and you look at the demographics; they're almost exactly the same. And I do have a word to say about the black community. Basing on what the polls I see right now, you still voted 88% for a woman that has no sympathy for the plight of black people. And meanwhile, the Republican was talking about he's going to go in and improve the inner cities. And that was going to be one of his priorities. And yet you still only gave him 8% of your vote. So when people who are black that comes there and has an issue like this, you call them Uncle Toms and all that stuff, and they say, or they return that, hey, you're still on the Democratic plantation. Well, you still are. There's no way that in this society that should have happened. You need to do better for yourself. Wake up, like many other people have. But anyway, the real truth is that Trump won with people who have degrees, who are white, women who weren't degreed, but he won by like 62% if you'd have a degree if you're a woman. I haven't seen the polls whether or not he won with women that have a degree, but last night he was polling very well there, or white women. So what you're going to get a lot today from the left is going to say that people who are in college, especially the youngins, just like in Brexit, they're going to blame us, the Generation X, and those are a little bit older than us, and saying that we're not smart enough or we didn't go to college or anything like that. But when you really look at the numbers, you're going to find out that Trump won all those areas. And the only places he did not win is the black vote and the Hispanic or Latino vote. He won everywhere else. So this is no different than Obama won during the first, I guess it'll be the second one, with very, very similar. And there's a reason why that Trump won, because the Democrats put up a person that is so flawed in so many ways. It's still shocking that she got over 55 million votes, I think, what it is. But she was so flawed, and there are a lot of reasons why she lost at the end. And I don't know if there's a priority I can put here. I do believe a lot of it is a lot of Democrats who, and this is another thing that they said last night, and they said on Fox News, and I was going back and forth. I didn't listen to any of this until my wife came into the bed about 12 o'clock, and she wanted me to put it back on. Then I was just listening to the radio or looking on Twitter. But they said some stupid racist things last night, saying that the white people had come back home. I guess saying that all the white people now want to be Republicans now. Well, I'm a white person. I voted Democrat for my entire life. I voted for the person. I don't really care what gender that person was. I look at his ideas. While she's doing the same things over and over again. And that's not what the country wanted to go on to. And the fact that a country that's very similar to us in a lot of ways in its diverse nature, in the UK, voted for Brexit, should have been a calling to Democrats. And also, I want to talk about the presidency. Now, firstly, before I get to that, so basically these people are saying that if you're white and you voted for a Republican, I guess you're racist then. And you'll see that all over Twitter this morning. And they're blaming all white people. And one in particular, somebody that has a large following that works for MTV, Lacey Green, is saying it's white America that caused this. That we're all misogynist and racist, or fascist, she said. We're fascists because we voted for somebody who believes in building our roads better, or have better schools, or protecting our borders. You know what? Trump is still a very feminist type of person. And I've said that before in some of my videos, probably still believes in the 1 in 5 and the pay cap and all that shit. So I don't think this is anything different. We're not going to, people who are, this is not a vote or a victory for those of us who we consider ourselves anti-feminists, because he's just as much as many of the other people on the left. They believe certain things, the old, I'm the better man than everybody else. But I do believe, and I said this with Barbarossa, who's been an MRA forever, a mid-cow type guy, that I think that he can be talked to. I duly believe that those who wanted to have this boys and men's conference under Obama, which never happened, that I think he'll actually listen. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to just ping him and say, hey, we have these issues with men. And he may at first in his mind say that we're just suck-ups and we can't deal with it ourselves because we're not alpha males. But I think once he tapes a back seat or back road, that he'll understand that there are real issues with men and boys, especially in school. I'm not sure he's going to go in and just take out all the indoctrination we've been getting in school. But part of me said that something happened last night. I thought we got our balls back as a country. But I remember when the president, Obama, basically called him out at that dinner years ago, saying, and he called him out, and I think back then that Trump probably thought he was going to run. And I thought if he has the ability to go in and have that turnover, it's going to be so funny to see that. All the times that he said that he would never win the presidency, that all the Hollywood people said he would never win the presidency, that Clooney said this while he was overseas, said that America would not vote for him because apparently he's fascist and all this other stuff. Although, before all this happened, I'm sure Clooney and him had knew each other. I'm sure that Clooney had been in his hotel. And they talked about stuff, probably about women. You know, they both want to probably talk about who they had sex with and shit like that. So that those huge, huge smug faces and smiles are now slapped off their fucking face. So anything that I have as far as gloating is that, to see that. Do you think that you believe, just that you, based on what you believe, that you control what we do, the rest of this country, the rest of people in this country? Again, this is to me, it's not no mandate. She could have won this election if she'd have done well in other areas. And yes, we're still divided. But I think that's all going to change if we actually do what Trump said he's going to do. And at first, you could take away the wall. The wall is important. It helped him to get elected. But what he's going to do is bring back jobs. And the only way you can do that, he's going to cut the corporate tax. And he's going to build stuff. And that's what he is. He's a builder. And building great schools and all this stuff. He's going to probably start that off in the inner cities. And imagine what happens if he could raise up that, and those kids have an opportunity then. Imagine what's going to happen then. So I think that anybody on the left should be excited that might actually happen, because if we really want to help people of color, if we really want to understand their pain, do you think that Clinton was going to do anything? We had a black president for 8 years. He did nothing for the black community other than basically rape bait us after back with Trayvon and everything after that. So I lost respect for him. And 18 months ago, I wrote a video to him. I said, you're going to lose. You're losing white men. You're losing, the Democrats are going to lose in the next election. And people just laughed at me. The people actually watched it just as much. And they never thought the Democrats would lose a national election. And I don't think that they would have lost against any other candidate. Trump had a coalition. And it's not, what you're going to see on the left is that, or just in the media itself, it's going to say it's white people that were racist, or they were angry that they weren't getting their way. And you're going to see a lot of young people, just like they did in Britain. They're going to blame people that are older than them, and they're going to say it's all racist and that we can't. You're going to see that, and it's already started. And that's fine. We'll go ahead and do what we're going to do anyway. We're going to rebuild this country. We're going to do what's right for this country, and it's going to end up helping them. And whether or not they decide at one time or another to actually support a candidate that believes this way doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's us that's going to make it better. That generation, they don't even understand what responsibility is now. So those of us who are still able that use this as a calling to make this country better again. I mean, we need to. And Trump was the right person at this time. If you guys have any comments, or you want to talk about it in the comments, please let me know. Again, I'm not gloating. I'm a Democrat. I've always said that Trump is a Democrat. So it was really two Democrats going against each other. One that's so corrupt that fortunately we did not vote her in. Now she'll just take her $20 million or $200 million and just live, I guess, for the rest of her life. Do I think that she's going to be indicted? I don't think so. That's not what happens. So, unless it's something else happens. But anyway, we can talk about it in the comments. Thank you for watching, and let's go make America better again, or great again. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.